Anthony Lynn is a special human being, right? He's a really, really fine man. Right? He opened a school in Africa. Like his wife was a newscaster in New York. He was working in Buffalo. Like, you talk to the guy, you're like, I don't know what this guy is doing, but I'm in. Like, just as an engaging human being. And he's done a great job for the most part with the Chargers. This year, no one has lost more close games. But the roof fell in yesterday. They lost to the New England Patriots 45-0. They allowed touchdowns on a punt return and on a block field goal. They missed a field goal and committed 2 gaffes on punt returns with a false start and 10 men on the field. Now, in fairness to Anthony Lynn, he is not the special teams coach. He demoted special teams coordinator George Stewart on November 25th in hopes of improving what is obviously a glaring weakness. There are 3 coaches overseeing the units. But it was, Lynn said, very frustrating. When I came here, we felt like it's just a couple years. We got this thing going in the right direction. Last couple years, it hasn't been that way, so it's my job to get it back on track. On the final play of the first half, the money badger, Michael Badgley, who's not having as good a year as he had last year or 2 years ago when they went to the playoffs, he had him attempt a 58-yard field goal. In fairness to Anthony Lynn, in warmups, he can make it. They're playing in a dome. People don't know that New LA Stadium is, in fact, a dome. So those conditions are conducive to longer field goals. But Badgley had already missed a 46-yarder, and he was 3 of 7 on attempts of 50 yards or more. So instead of being down 21-3 or just take a knee or throwing it into the end zone, it's a block field goal, return for a touchdown, 44 yards, 28-0. It's just absolutely debilitating. Now, let's be honest. What is not said about the Patriots losing to the Eagles in the Super Bowl was Stephen Gostkowski missed, I think, an extra point and a field goal. Their special teams wasn't great. They had some bad snaps as well. Right? It does, in fact, happen. But the bigger point and the most important point is coaching matters. You can be the finest gentleman on earth, and Anthony Lynn is. And he's had successful. His first season, they started out, was it 0-4, 0-5? They nearly made the playoffs. So it's not that guys don't believe in him. It's not that he's not wrong if he pointed out, hey, last year, if Phillip Rivers just doesn't turn the football over, we get to the playoffs again. But, you're finding new. You went from finding new and inventive ways to lose to finding new and inventive ways to get embarrassed by the New England Patriots. Then you look across the sideline and you say to yourself, how come this has never happened in New England? And you know the answer, right? They don't have 3 guys overseeing special teams. And by the way, their special teams coach is now a head coach in the NFL, and he's doing a hell of a job with the New York Giants. And you can sit here and tell me all you want that Belichick has had guys that are failures. He has. He has. Patricia didn't work. Flores is working. I don't think anybody would argue. Bill O'Brien didn't not work. Bill O'Brien worked. Bill O'Brien just became too powerful and too arrogant, and he was just a guy that people struggled to get along with. That's all. But they won the division, was it like 4 of the last 5 years or something in Houston? He's a good football coach. No, Romeo Crennel has not worked. Right? You could even go and say that, his offensive coordinator, Josh McDaniels, it didn't work, but he had a very short stint in Denver. And if he takes on a better job, I think he'll get a job and he'll win games. I don't know. But coaching absolutely matters. There's a reason that some guys play their best. Look in Indy. Okay? Frank Reich is the head coach. I'm going to tell you that Anthony Lynn and the Chargers felt like if they had almost any other quarterback than Phillip Rivers, who everybody loves, including me, than anybody else last year, they make the playoffs. but he was just couldn't get out of his own way. He's so unathletic. He tried to make throws that he can't make anymore, and he just cost them game after game after game. Did anybody notice the score yesterday of the Indianapolis Colts against the Tennessee Titans? Like, look. No, they didn't play the Texans. They played the Titans. Who did they play the Titans yesterday? Sorry, they played the Titans. You're right. That was actually my next point. I'm sorry, I wasn't getting to it. Which was they go and win. They go and win games. Phillip Rivers, 285, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. He's the same quarterback he was last year. Do I think playing in domes helps him? Sure. Wasn't like he played in bad weather in L.A. last year, in Carson. But it helps him. But it helps him to have a coach who finds ways to not make him look like he's 37, 38, and on his last legs. Cleveland Browns. Have they made some tweaks to the team? Sure. And as I told you at the time, Odell Beckham Jr. getting hurt would actually help their team even if they weren't as talented. Their commitment to running the football and changing their offense and protecting Baker Mayfield. I mean, they ran around. Did you see the Donovan Peoples-Jones touchdown? They had one guy in the pattern. One. And it was DPJ. And he runs an out and up, and he's wide open, and I could have made that throw. But it's all set up by running the football. By every time you see this formation, they're running the ball. Everybody watches tape. Everybody sells out. You put 9 in the box. You leave a guy in the island, and what happened? The double move. Coaching absolutely, positively matters. Okay, look in college football. Coaching matters. It matters in the recruitment. It matters in the execution of the recruitment. Coaching matters in the NFL. Couldn't matter anymore. Sean Payton has had backup quarterbacks the last 2 years. And we can sit here and go, hey, Teddy Bridgewater was a starter before, and he's a starter now. That's fine. As a backup quarterback, 5-0. Taysom Hill comes in. Everybody, Taysom Hill's not a quarterback. Have they lost a game since he became the quarterback? Right. Is Cam Newton playing well? Is he a good NFL quarterback? And the answer would be no. Like, would anybody who has a playoff team or close to being a playoff team go, you know what, I want Cam Newton to be my quarterback right now? Does anybody realize that the Patriots are like kind of lurking and have a chance to make the playoffs? I don't think it happens. But that's with Cam Newton throwing for 69 yards yesterday. That really happened. 69 yards on 19 attempts. He ran the ball 14 times. They won 45-0. He has 5 passing touchdowns all season. They have more wins, 6 through 12 games, than Cam Newton has touchdown passes, 5 through 12 games. It's so important. I told you the 3 C's. We all talk about stuff that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You know? What matters is conditioning, is confidence, is coaching. And it was a mismatch of epic proportions on Sunday in L.A. The resurrection of Baker Mayfield's career has been because of Kevin Stefanski's coaching. The downfall of the Eagles and the rise of the Colts have been about coaching. And if you don't think it matters, you're just one of those deniers. You're just one of those guys that says, hey, I look at all these stats, I look at all these numbers, and not getting it, not feeling it. They beat the Chargers, who had the best uniforms in the history of football on, by the way, on their own home field with better quarterback play. They beat them 45-0. Yikes.